So, my personal intro. What can I tell you about me? Some of you probably already know me, um, so I don't know that I'll give you too much more in the way of new information. So, we'll start with the basics. My education, some of you probably might be wondering about that. Okay, well, bachelor's and master's degrees come from Iowa State University. I was a Cyclone for 6 years strong. Then I never planned to go on for a PhD. That was never really in the cards for me, or so I thought. I always wanted to be on TV as a broadcast meteorologist, and to that effect, I have tapes of me giving a weather forecast, and those are those are a real gem, let me tell you. But in any case, I did work when I was an undergrad, before I finished my degree, as a matter of fact, at a Fox News affiliate, and I was split. I was split between the broadcast newsroom 3 days of the week and then in the weather center for a different 3 days of the week. And then the last day of the week I had off. And wasn't paid much for that. But I remember thinking that a master's degree would never harm me. It could only help me down the line. And my philosophy was give it a shot, take the GRE, see how I land. If I have a high enough score that can get me into a program, great. And maybe, I might be able to teach along the way to help defray the expense as an assistantship. So I did do that and loved it. I loved it a lot, actually. And so that was always in the back of my mind. But once I hit the end of that master's degree program, then you hit that proverbial fork in the road where you have to decide what you want to do. Do I want to go back professionally? Do I want to continue academically? And so I tried both. And I submitted an application to the State of Iowa Department of Education. And then I had a couple of PhD applications floating around. And the opportunity presented itself at a couple of those schools, two of which were Michigan State and Utah. And at that point in time, I was just ready to get out of the Midwest. And so I did. I lived in Salt Lake City for 4 years for my PhD and got that in 2012, although I started at Ball State in 2011. And I've been there ever since, just finished my fourth year. And while I was in Salt Lake City, kind of jumping around here a little bit, but while I was in Salt Lake City, I was an editor for an e-magazine. And so I have experience with this, and I've taught the editing course in the University of Utah undergrad curriculum. So it's kind of exciting to finally get a handle on this again. It's been a couple of years since I've had an editing class, an actual editing class like this one. So I am excited for it. And I have taught online courses before, so this is not my first time as far as the delivery mechanism is concerned. But there again, I might just drop a line in here that I'm not sure my style is for everybody. So again, I do give you contact information in which to reach me should you need that. But yeah, that's my background in terms of my education. I guess one more thing I could throw in there: I do have teaching certification in the state of Iowa, technically at the community college level, but I have gone through an actual certification program for the purpose of post-secondary teaching. And I don't know if a lot of people know that or not. As far as my background professionally, I've kind of already included that with my academic history. So we'll move on then into some other things. So I guess, tennis player, love that. Just in general, I like athletic type things. I like being outside. Doesn't always like me in return, fair skin and all that. But I do enjoy being outdoors. Loved being in the mountains when I was in Salt Lake City, hiking, whitewater rafting, that kind of stuff. Always enjoy that. I also like reading. I don't get to do leisure reading all that much, but I do enjoy it when I have the opportunity. Still like that. Piano player. So, I mean, just some background information to personalize me a little bit more. What are we, 4.5 minutes in on this video? If you're still sticking around, I'll throw this out there too. I mean, you're welcome to ask me some questions if you have them. And that would include those of you who've had me in class before. There might be some things that you still don't know about me, but would like to know, and maybe you just weren't bold enough to ask in the first place. So I'll throw that out there for you, and we'll wrap this one up at about 5 minutes. But if bottom line, if you have a question, ask me. I'm pretty approachable, pretty open, and I'll give you a pretty honest response, I think. Okay.